I am really excited about this era, this time in comic books, because a lot of things go on, a lot of simple things for most people, probably things you don't really pay attention to or things you don't care about. But for me, it's exciting because you like there was a time where if it wasn't coming from the majors, you really didn't get it. We're not in that time anymore. You really can get what you're looking for outside of the major publishers, and I love this. I love this time. This is a great time to be a comic book collector, in my humble opinion, or a comic book reader. I am a reader. I don't really consider myself to be a collector. I know there's a lot of people who are collectors. Look, nothing against the people who are collecting comic books. Excuse me as I make some adjustments here on my screen. Nothing against those people who collect and don't read, but I read more than collect. That's just what I like doing. So anyway, enough of that. Let's get to this article right here that I was reading on Fandom Pulse. John Romita Jr. and Mark Millar are putting out a comic book. That in and of itself, even without knowing the title or any of that, if I just saw that on an article, okay, I'm in. You got me. I'm in. You had me right there. So it says Mark Millar and John Romita Jr. make waves with Psychic Sam graphic novel on Kickstarter. I like the fact that they're doing this on Kickstarter. In a surprise announcement, Mark Millar announced a new comic, Psychic Sam, with John Romita Jr. launching on Kickstarter as an independent work, and also noting that a feature film is in development. And this is the thing, especially with Romita and Millar being so influential like they are. If John Romita and Mark Millar plan to put something out, people have confidence in that. They have the full confidence of the people with this. Look, I'm with them. I fully am invested already, and I don't even know what this thing is about. Mark Millar and John Romita Jr. are now two of the most storied creators in comics. Mark Millar is best known for his work on The Ultimates, which eventually was the inspiration for the MCU Avengers films. And Romita Jr. has had long runs on Amazing Spider-Man and almost every superhero you can think of in his long career. You get people like this is where you get inspiration, and this is where things start shaking and moving. The fact that Mark Millar's stories is what was the inspiration for the MCU Avengers films is pretty incredible. That just goes to show you what the I don't know if you want to say the stature of his creative ability is. Together, they're known as the creative team that built. Yeah, you see that. I'm not gonna say it, but anyway, you see what it is. An independent book that changed comics, as it was one of the first to be adapted into a successful film version, building an incredible legacy for both men. Yeah, I mean, Mark Millar's one of those dudes that when he puts his pen to paper, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I'm not gonna praise him like he can do no wrong, but man, when he puts something out, I want to say that I'm willing to put my neck out on the line and say, yeah, this is probably gonna be good. In recent years, Mark Millar has had his entire work brought by Netflix, who owns exclusive rights to everything he does in comics as well as in film. He's made movies such as The Kingsman and streaming TV shows like Jupiter Legacy, while putting out a whole line of comics through Image Comics and now Dark Horse Comics, including a recent book, Vatican City, where he teams with popular indie artists Per Berg. What makes the announcement surprising is that this book and film is getting made outside of Netflix, making it a truly independent and creator-owned work by both gentlemen. Yo, bravo, kudos to them. Like I said, the exciting thing about this time and this day and age is that this can be done, especially with dudes that are this influential and have the connections that they no doubt have. This is not going to be a problem for them getting something like this done. Mark Millar spoke with Fandom Pulse about this, saying, I got a 12-week carve out from my schedule to do something elsewhere. I was going to do Marvel or DC and was mulling it over, but realized it would be more fun to do something with a Johnny again and something we could own. The Netflix guys are cool about everything. Yo, this is dope. This is dope. I like that. The fact that they're going, kind of going their own way, doing their own thing. We don't have to do this with one of the majors. And this is the blessing of this time. There's so much access to so many things that really creators can do their own thing. There's no need for them to lean on someone else. And I like that. The book has been described by fans as being a British Punisher who's using precognitive abilities to investigate thought crimes or crimes yet to happen. And it is a 64-page graphic novel according to Kickstarter. Yo, that's actually a pretty dope idea. Yo, okay, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Sam Nicoletti hears a voice in his head the day before something bad happens. The voice tells him the name and address of a murderer. And if he ignores this voice, an innocent person dies. At first, he thought it was crazy. But as the body started building up, he realizes he needs to do something. And after a while, he hears about a murder that's so horrific, he needs to intervene. What would you do in this situation? You call the cops and they think you're crazy because nothing bad has happened yet. But unless you take matters into your own hands, innocent people are going to suffer. Yo, bravo again. Bravo to that man, Mark Millar. He knows how to craft a story. Just like if somebody would have just pitched this idea without me hearing like this part of it, I'd have thought, okay, Punisher with psychic powers, how exactly does this work? But this is an interesting twist, the way he did that. I like this. Let's see, where'd I start off? Blah, blah, blah. I call the cops. No. Soon to be a major movie from the producer of The Gentleman and Wrath of Man. After only being open for several hours, the Kickstarter has raised about $20,000 as of this writing. Of note, it is stated that it is volume 1 of 3. So fans can expect further Millar and Romita Jr. collaborations in the future on this character. It can be backed on Kickstarter here. Let's see. Let's check this Kickstarter campaign, and I'll put a link in the description. Yo, $38,000, 598 backers. And look, Romita and Millar are good for their work. If they put this out and they said something is coming out, you can rest assured that it's going to come out. I think the independent route is the way to go. If I was still thinking about being an artist today, of course I haven't picked up the pencil in many years, but if I was still thinking about being an artist today, I'll be honest with you, Marvel and DC would be the last place I would think of. I would first think about going at it on my own, doing my own thing. We have really gotten to the point where people can go out and do their own thing and they don't need the majors in order to make something that both they love and the fans will love.